Hello, people of YouTube. This is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. Today we're talking about Dr. Stone Season 3, Episode 13, or Dr. Stone Season 3, Part 2, Episode 2, whatever your preference is there. And wow, we are really getting into it with this episode. It was pretty interesting in the beginning, got even crazier as we went along. So, first up, we have Kaseki, all good to go. But he is missing this poo-shaped mark. Yes, I said poo, and they refer to it that way on his back. Senku said, whatever, it can't be helped. No big deal. And they're like, well, we don't want to revive him, and then he's going to have a giant poo mark on his back. Like, that's not fair to him. So Taiju, with his immense, crazy stamina, is like, oh, I can gather all the parts. Just give me a few hundred traps. And everybody's like, what? Are you crazy? And he was like, yeah, I know exactly where it is. So I just swim above the surface and then dive down. I can hold my breath for a couple of minutes at a time. No big deal. Pretty crazy. Pretty interesting how he does that. And he gets all the parts. Every single part. So while he's doing that, Senku is working on the drone. They finally find the piece, the poo, the poo piece, putting the poo. We found Kaseki's poo. Gen is making funny comments about it. But yeah, they found it. He gets unpetrified. And what's really cool is all of the things that come with aging, arthritis, joint pain, bone deterioration, are gone. He feels like $1,000,000. I don't know if it's just something where it'll only last a little while and all of it will come back. It's even possible that being unpetrified could make you live significantly longer because any illness you have, gone. Or if you're old, you get unpetrified. Maybe you had some sort of organ issues, it's gone. Good to go. So theoretically, Kaseki is going to live for a very long time. It'll be interesting to see. I highly doubt he'll die in the series, but it'll be very interesting to see. So Senku is like here. Yeah, Senku. Thinking of My Hero Academia there for a second. It's like, we got to build a drone. That's the plan. But he sees the Smash Lab because they kind of brutalized it for the oxygen tanks, and he's like, nope, doing that first. So he builds the lab back together because it's going to be useful for other things anyway. For the propellers, they are dipping feathers, which are very aerodynamic because they are on birds, and then they are covering them in plastic, shaving them down as thin as they can get them to be as light as possible for the drone. We then create ball bearings, which I did not realize. Apparently, Leonardo da Vinci was the one that actually initially invented those. But it allows, same thing that makes a fidget spinner work. You use it on cars, it stabilizes things, essentially. We got everybody back together. We got Francois, and then there's some random person who's missing an arm. They weren't able to find an arm, but whoever it is, I believe it is a guy. Being that only the bottom part is covered. So who knows, but missing an arm there, just whatever, Taiju brought back every single piece he could find. And then he's like, yeah, you guys work really good together, you and Taiju too, because you have both, you both have that drive to you'll figure out how to do it, and you'll get it done. Doesn't matter how long it takes, it doesn't matter how hard it is, you will figure out a way to do it and get it done. And that's how they work together. So we got the drone, going. It needs a little bit of work, but it's definitely there. Genro has been invited to see the master, which is kind of interesting. And then Kohaku and Morellis are just like, yeah, just suck it up, deal with it, go see the master. We need some more information. We also learned that they have kind of a knockout gas, a little bit of a mixture, and sulfuric acid. Apparently kind of works as like a little bit of a knockout gas there. It'll smell, he mixed it up to make it smell like pineapple, but it works. It does the trick. So what does Genro do? He goes ahead and uses it and knocks out the tall crazy dude. Meanwhile, Kohaku is fighting this dude right here. He is like the most strongest warrior that there is. And Genro decides to look at the master. And the master has been petrified and looks kind of like Sozu, which is interesting. However, there's like a big chunk missing out of his face. So this leads me to believe, based on what we see later in the episode, that this guy, the guy that's like aide to the master, he's the one that actually attacked the master, and then they petrified him after the fact. At least that is my best guess, because it looks like he's missing a piece of skin here. He's missing an eye part, top part of his face. That is my best guess. He finally wakes up and he was like, "How dare you see it? You can't see it. Now you have to die." Essentially. So Kohaku is fighting him, being distracted. Kohaku then describes the type of man she likes, and she pretty much describes Senku. So we might be shipping Kohaku and Senku. I mean, we saw them kiss, earlier in the season. I know it was just for a gimmick, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But Taiju also has similar qualities with determination. Basically driving a wedge until it gets done. This guy, who the master's assistant is now going after Genro, he has some sort of crazy claw, Freddy Krueger-like thing on all of his fingers, including his thumb there, kind of like knives, as the best way to describe it. He's got them on both hands, though, as you can see. And he's going after him, and we get a very sad scene here, right there. Yep, Genro gets impaled by these things and is on death's door. And it's not looking good. So Kohaku grabs him, runs away. He's dying. Like, he got internal organs pierced. There is no coming back from that. You get one of your major internal organs pierced, stops functioning, you're going to die. There's nothing you can do. Genro then tells Kohaku about the master. He wishes Kenro goodbye, his brother. And Kohaku then, quick thinking, realizes there is nothing that she can do to save him except one thing, and that is get him petrified, because if she petrifies him before he actually dies, then when he gets revived, Senku can, he'll be good to go. All of his wounds will have healed. He'll be back to life. So this guy, the master's assistant, is saying, cover your eyes or you'll also get petrified. In reality, it's just so they don't see what it is that makes it. So we actually get an up-close view of what Kohaku is calling the Medusa, and it looks like 3 metal rings, intertwined together with a bunch of like microchips or something embedded in them, but tied to a rope. So that's what it is. And they do end up getting petrified. Kohaku's like, it's up to you, Amaryllis, now. You have to do it. And they end up getting petrified. And it's fine, because it's almost kind of like a catch-all to a certain extent. Like, nobody can ever die. Like, it's almost immunity. So basically, no one is ever going to die because, okay, now you just get petrified and you're good. So essentially, they will eventually become unpetrified, and it'll be perfectly fine. That's my guess in the next episode or two. We'll see what happens with Amaryllis. She made a couple of new friends, so she's definitely sad. Deal game test of wit. So, I mean, obviously they still don't know where... I'm just going to find a nice scene here to leave it on. There we go. Where Senku and the whole gang is hiding. Because Kohaku's like, why would I ever tell you... why would you assume I would give up my friend so easily? So she's not going to tell them where they are. But they know they're somewhere. So at this point, they are on high alert, and they are going to be looking more for them. So even Senku said, we don't have the time to build up enough arrival fluid to unpetrify everybody right now. So the goal here is get the drone, capture the petrification beam, and then at that point, it will no longer matter, because we have the petrification beam. We can then petrify whoever we want as well. We can revive them whenever we want, and no issues there. Good to go. But that's why I feel like when I saw Genro get impaled, I mean, yes, it was like, oh crap, Genro's dying, but at the same time, like, within 2 seconds of thought, I was like, oh, just, petrify him, put the revival fluid on him, then it's good to go. So it was kind of like a trope, I guess you would call it. It's kind of like, it's sad for like a couple seconds, but then you realize, like, no, he's not actually going to die. And they could have killed him, I'll be honest. I know he has a lot of comedic relief, but I feel like he's one of those, kind of like secondary characters where he is in the main cast, but if you killed him off, people would be sad for a little while, but it wouldn't be like killing the main character. Something along those lines. I don't think Genro is all that popular if you did a character poll or something like that. But who knows? Who knows? I enjoyed the episode. Solid 8 out of 10. As I said, the reason it's not getting a 10 out of 10 is because there's really no sense of danger when everybody can just be petrified and then revived. It's like, yeah, who cares? It doesn't matter whatsoever. Big whoop-de-doo, if you will. And that's just kind of how it is. It doesn't make a difference who gets impaled, who gets cut up. You just put them back together, petrify them, glue the pieces back together, and then bam, they're alive again. I don't know if we've ever seen someone dead get petrified, because Senku did freeze Tsukasa, if you remember that last season. So it'll be interesting to see if they petrify Tsukasa and then use the revival fluid and see if that actually brings him back to life. Because that's a possibility that I've been thinking about as well. But yeah, other than that, excellent episode. Really enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. While you're down there, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like, share the video to your friends, your family, whoever. And thank you for watching. As always, have a good one.